Hello Leo, welcome or welcome back to my body and heart tower therapy. I'm here to do the reading for July 2020. Happy birthday to the Leos born in July. I hope you are going to enjoy this month tremendously. So now let's see what is the energy available to you this month, Leo. So this is a general reading for Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Alright, Leo. What do we have here? The Three of Cups is your current energy. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see what's your challenge, beloved. Four of Swords is your challenge, same as Cancer, restless. Now what's the advice for Leo? What's the advice for Leo, Sun, Moon and Rising signs? July. Ten of Swords is your advice. Alright. Now what's the future energy? Six of Swords. Okay. And bottom of the deck you have the Six of Pentacles. As the theme of your reading, pretty much. This is what you're really working with this month, what you're learning to integrate, and this you know, the work. Okay, Leo. Six of Pentacles is talking about this is a recurrent theme with you. I've seen it throughout the year. I've seen it throughout the months, coming again and again and again. Learning how much to give and how much to take. Giving a balance between giving and taking. Are you open to receive as well, or are you only comfortable in the giving position? Or sometimes maybe you're claiming too much without even realizing, having unachievable expectations of other people. Where are you in this, you know, this range of like giving too much and taking too much, or giving close to nothing? And that can mean obviously in many aspects of your life. It can be in maybe work, career, things like that. Money, how you are, I don't know, being maybe over generous sometimes, or maybe stingy in other times. But it actually, I think it's always deeper than that. It's really how we're spending our energy and our time. This is a 6, so it's about service. It's about how we're connecting to life, how we're connecting to the world at large. From me, personal point of view, personal point of reference, the individual me, Leo, you're all about the individual. That's the journey of Leo, right? Someone are rising in different ways, but Leo is the individual. Leo is the one that's operating from the sun, the ego, the how one puts oneself out there. Okay, I don't want to get too technical with the with the terms, because then we can get confused. But yeah, from your point of reference, from where you perceive the world out there, how do you relate to that? Overgiving, overtaking, how do we find that balance? Now, I'm going to pull out some clarifiers. Let's see what's this really about. I think it's connected to relationships for sure. It's how you relate to people in your life, to your friends group, to your partner, family, things like that. Work too, but it's more like groups of people, groups of your soul family. Yeah, let's pull up clarifiers. This is, yeah, it's funny, I just looked to see if the deck is upwards, and it was the Three of Cups again. Okay, so what are these cards here? Please clarify these cards. So you have the Mother of Cups with the Six of Wands as your current energy, along with the Three of Cups. Nice. Where's the Four of Swords here? The Emperor with Four of Swords is your challenge. Where's the Ten of Swords as your advice? The Father of Wands with the Chariot, along with Ten of Swords as your advice. Where's the Six of Swords as your future energy? Nine of Swords. Okay. And what is this about? Ten of Cups with the Six of Pentacles. This is really beautiful, actually. You see, you are obviously engaged in learning how to be happy and how to bring happiness in other people's life as well. You make a service out of that. It's your mission, if you may. And I think you're learning how to balance things out, inner outer world, inner experience versus outer experience, inner emotional perception versus, I don't know, a more what to call that, a cooler view, like from your opposite sign, from Aquarius. You know, the Leo can be incredibly passionate and warm and loving and caring and giving a lot, but also very biased because sees everything through one's very relative lenses. Aquarius, the opposite sign, can be a little bit more detached. That means that can observe things from the outside without getting emotionally involved, which, yes, it's a great skill to have, but it can also make one remote and disconnected from the emotional human experience. But we learn from our opposites, and I think this whole like giving and taking and flow of energy, really, what comes from in and out, and how we perceive that is examined now, and it could help for you to step back a little bit and see what constitutes happiness for you, what are your expectations, how you're spending your energy. Almost like the scientist, you know, that a bit of that cooler view of the Aquarius could really help. Being like, okay, so I have this scale here, and I take this much and give to this person, how much is left? If I take from this cup and put into this cup and mixes with this cup, okay, so it's all blue here, but if then I put some red here, what's gonna taste like? Does that make any sense? I hope it does. I don't know how to explain this. Makes me think of temperance, really, like looking a little bit like a scientist and working with like creating a new recipe, creating your own recipe that works for you and that works for how you relate with the people in your life, and taking it less personally, in a sense. That sometimes your efforts or your overgiving is not being received in the way that you would expect, or that sometimes you're being perceived maybe without you being aware of not giving enough in certain aspects or areas of the relationship. It's not easy to find that proper balance, but it is definitely in your grasp right now. It is what you're working with, and I think you since you had this as a theme more or less for this year to my memory, I've seen this again and again and again. I think you're mastering it slowly, you know. That's how we work, that like working with these themes, they don't just like click into place here and now and this is it. It takes time, and it takes revisiting again and again and again our beliefs around this, our actions, our reactions, our, you know, steering and working with feedback and so on. So it's an ongoing process, baby. All right, so current energy, you seem to be very much focused maybe on the relationships in your life, and that relating and celebrating each other and seeing each other, and being able to say party together, laugh together, create things together, really celebrating each other and each other's company, and being seen and being valued for who you are. Maybe there are meaningful in exchanges in your life now with the people around you, with your friends, or with can be total strangers sometimes, but we can meet, you know, the random people sometimes and have some very deep, meaningful exchanges where we get to recognize ourselves and our journey, and when we get to recognize other as for the unique and individual and amazing energy that it can bring into the world. With the Mother of Cups, I think you're like being quite reflective around this. You maybe you value this a lot, and you value being seen with the Six of Wands, and yeah, this is the Leo card, Six of Wands. Being seen, being perceived, being applauded, being praised for the victory, which was hard won, so rightly so. But I guess that you're being also a bit reflective about how does this look like in your relationships, and where is this coming from, again with the give and take. When am I happy with myself, when I'm able to hold a certain type of space for my friends and family, or when I'm playing this role perfectly of the giver, of the perfect I don't know what you want to be perfect in relationships. And what happens when I don't? How am I relating to myself in those times? And that can give you like a better understanding of this balance that you're learning to create again and again and again. This reflective attitude of the Mother of Cups can help you build empathy and compassion, not only for other people's perspectives and life experiences, but for yourself as well, when you're not able to relate in the way you want to relate, or to be the person that you want to be. When we're coming up from more shadowy aspects of ourselves, and from tantrums of the inner child, or from certain parts of ourselves that we don't like that much, can I learn from this? Can I use this as information to where my wound is, and can I learn to give myself compassion and love and appreciation, and learn to work with myself as well, not just by playing a role, but by understanding why that need to play that role. And what do I expect in exchange for the favors or the love that I shower the people around me with, or attention or time or all that. And this is really, the Mother of Cups can create an amazing space for this type of reflection. And it gives you so much insight about how to sometimes take space for yourself as well, and just like be by yourself, with yourself, not having to play any role at all. It can give you that amazing relief of not having to do anything in particular or to be anyone. And that's kind of like calming down the energy, and it's replenishing you, so you can go out there to not to not use your self-drive, that makes sense, to not give too much of yourself, to understand your limits, and to understand also where you are unable to give. It's okay to not give all the time. It's okay to take as well. It's okay to understand what does it mean to not be open to receive, because sometimes we believe that means that, oh my God, I'm all this glorious being who's just giving and not taking, and I'm all self-sacrifice, and I'm playing and singing, I don't know, songs for myself here. Sometimes not being able, open to receive could mean also not being open to receive any type of information, input, love, connection, feedback, anything at all. Maybe I'm always in the position of having to share my wisdom and my idea about the world and life and everything. And then when somebody shares of themselves, maybe I'm just not really taking anything in, because I think that I've got it figured out, you know. So there's subtleties to it. There's subtleties, and it takes time. It really takes time to work and integrate this energy perfectly. Well, there's no perfection around it, but you know, to your so that your transformative process can take place deeper and deeper and deeper, and you're learning to relate from the individual that you are, from yourself to the world. And give more of your authentic self, you know, and create more of that joy and happiness, both in your life and others. That's not so conditioned by roles or people's reactions or praise or that, but it's much more about that inner peace that comes with reflection and understanding and embracing of oneself and the world as it is. Okay, I'm going quite far with this. I hope it still makes sense to you. Okay, so Four of Swords with the Emperor as your challenge. And these are both fours. Four of Swords talks about quieting the mind, going into reflective states, having some type of mental stability, keeping your mind in check so it doesn't like run on, you know, just like I don't know how to say that, just keep running without having any giving anything anymore, you know, like no insights, no nothing. It just becomes this Nine of Swords, anxiety, pure anxiety and fear, and creating story after story after story, and being always in problem solving mode, and then we completely forget what was everything about. So the Four of Swords is that stability. It's calming the mind. It's being into the rest mode, the receiving mode, and that's done for spiritual reason, because that's when the deeper information comes through. The inner wisdom kicks in when we're allowed to slow down the mind and just be present, just be in that rest mode. Now this comes with the Emperor. And interesting that there is eclipse here. We are in the eclipse season. And you know, the Empress in this deck is white, and the background is black. I mean, like she's the one that actually has space within to hold for the outer world. Is that inner stability. The Emperor talks about what we put outside. It's how we act, what we create, relating to the environment from a position of action and intention. You know, intentional work. It's the Emperor is Aries energy. It's the pioneer, the one that will go to war with no fear, like Aries, you know, like the Mars archetype, where we put our energy in, how we use that energy, in what direction to build, what to destroy, what to create, what to you know, all that. And this being in your challenge position, I think that you may fall a little bit into over controlling what you want to put out there and how you want to put yourself out there, and what kind of empire you create for yourself, what you surround yourself with, and your experience. Maybe you fall into that trap of obscuring obscuring your fear actually from yourself. It's something that you don't see. You can see it from your actions, but it takes time for you to understand that this is your mind externalizing the internal fear and projecting it on other people, and stories in that creating or that are being created in your life. Okay, that's difficult to explain. I'm sorry if it is not so crystal clear what I'm saying here. Okay, let me try to summarize. So two forces: the stability of the mind and stability of your action-based reality. And given that this is your challenge position, it actually tells me that you are more in the energy of the opposite. You're in the lower side of this energy, instead of being easy for you to stay in your reflective state and just process your experience, and to stay in your power, and to act from a place of inner authority. You may feel your mind kind of going in circles, and you may feel the need to control your reality too much. That means controlling yourself and controlling people too much as well. But hey, your advice here is the Ten of Swords coming with the Chariot and the Father of Wands. The Chariot is also very, very determined energy, very like straightforward, intentional type of work. And have also an indication that you've got the resources of the Pentacle here. This is the physical, the higher physical mind. I don't know how to explain that. Sorry. Okay, I'll let that go for now. I see the moon here on the horse. This is movement. This is movement guided by intuition, being watched over by the sun, by you know what has been revealed to you, and having the resources to go for that whatever it is that you want to go for. Now, as advice, is the Ten of Swords. Is allowing something to be to die, really. Allowing it's a defense mechanism. One of those fears that comes from the inner child, from unmet needs, from childhood internalized limiting beliefs and fears that what if I'm to this or to that, or not good enough, or it's really like it's ego work here. And the Ten of Swords is like shedding off a skin. It's when we realize that we're coming from this space, when we are overgiving or overtaking, is like, what is it that I am, where am I operating from? You know, where am I operating from? If I'm overgiving, it's like, what am I trying to buy here in return? Love, being seen, being recognized. Again, what is the role that I'm playing? And allow myself to truly accept that that is the case, without going defensive, without going like, hey, this is not me. I mean, like, okay, it's good to not identify with it, because that's when we get less emotional about it. We can take responsibility for it, because we understand I'm not it. You know, I'm not it. This is just a behavior that was born out of fear and out of protective stuckness around a core wound that I'm here to acknowledge and learn to work with. So if I'm seeing an habitual type of behavior showing up again and again and again, and almost like being, this over controlling, or when I become anxious around it, instead of like trying to hide it or trying to run away from it or trying to enact it from that place, it's about, hey, I'm here, I see you, and I have a better idea, let's try something else this time. And this is when this part of like this behavior, this part of you that you used to identify with, that I am, I don't know, maybe the great this or the great that, the biggest giver of them all, or the I don't know, whatever it is that you think of yourself in this situation, or the most powerful or fairest of them all, or blah blah blah. It's like that compensation that we create is the like a threshold guardian for that place of wounding can be let go of at this time, because you're strong enough, you're aware enough to come up with a different type of attitude and behavior around it. It's not that you need to deny the pain, it's not that you don't need to deny the fact that you have needs. We all have needs, and we all need our needs to be met. And the need for love and appreciation and connection are deeply instilled within ourselves. But just sometimes the strategies that we use in order to get those things are not the best, because there's just survival strategies that we came up with at the age of 5 or something like that, and then built up upon that. But you see, you have the determination, you have the intuition, you have the resources to work with this. And the Father of Wands, again, it's a very strong Leo, Aries fire energy. It is somebody who is able to sit with it. It is somebody who is able to be fully self-contained, with all the passion, with all the fire, harnessing the energy of the fire. This is also fire, right? It's Aries. Harnessing the energy of the fire, to that immense power that you have, not to burn yourself up or burn other people or try to control your environment, but rather to constantly create yourself, to create the opportunity for yourself to just be as you are, for you to get to learn and experience yourself without expectations, without need to prove anything or to have other people prove to you anything. It's a release that's happening again, like from this place of reflection. I see that you have the capacity for reflection right now at the emotional level, but your mind isn't exactly on board with it. It's going to try to steer you off, because it's afraid. The mind is afraid to go through the Ten of Swords. This is the end of the sword of the mind, it's that complete circle. And it is scary. It is scary because it means change. Mind doesn't like change. Mind doesn't like losing an identity. But it's in the nature of the mind. Here you've got a lot of support from your much deeper sense of self, that's stemming from an inner wisdom that's beyond the mind. The mind is just like creating, a model of the world, but that model of the world is not necessarily the only one, or the only possible one, or accurate enough. We are always, like the way the brain works is that we're always creating this model based on our past experience, based on our perception, based on our relative reality, based on our emotional side. Like even here, like what we see, we're not really seeing each and every little detail. We build up a lot of the image based on symbol and things like that. It will take too much brain power. It's hard to explain. It's a lot to say about that, and I like to go more into the scientific side of it, but maybe that's not the time. The Father of Wands gives you it is within you, that capacity to be fully confident without having anything to prove, to just be yourself. So not, instead of like when I say, hey, you're looking for praise, or you're trying to buy love by doing this all nice things for other people, blah, 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 blah. Instead of going into overthinking and thinking like, okay, where am I doing this? Why am I doing that? What is this? Ta, 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 ta. And start either going defensive, no, I'm not doing this, either going belittling ourselves, why am I always doing this? Instead of doing that, it's really holding it within yourself with this caring, loving energy of the Mother of Cups. And as you do that, as you create that space, as you look at it with affection, and knowing that it's just a part of you that's looking for love, you're able to hold that space with, you know, this inner power just flows out of you. And it's natural. It's not something that you need to force or to create to to build up mentally. You don't need to do anything. It just flows from you as you slow down, as you surrender. This is a card of surrender. This is a card of fully letting go. Allow the death of that part of you that's been, trying so hard to fulfill a dream or a role that you think of yourself you should play. See, this comes as an epiphany. This comes as a full awakening of sorts. And I see the butterfly here, which means transformation, and the sword, the what's this? The snake also talks about transformation, about shedding of skins, shedding of a skin. They're coming together. This father of wands is a mature snake, a cobra, I guess. Throughout their life, a snake needs to shed off a lot of skins to be able to grow, to be able to expand, to be able to come into their own full power. Otherwise, they will be constricted by that skin and they will never grow. Allow that skin to be shed, and do so with intention. Do so with using your intuition, not your thinking mind. Because you can't resolve what's in the thinking mind from the thinking mind. You need different type of wisdom, and it is at your disposal. And you see, this is future energy. This is the Six of Swords coming with this Nine of Swords. It's like moving forward finally from this place of anxiety. Sometimes we are anxious without even realizing. We're just like being compulsive of certain behaviors, or we start becoming more reactive. And we don't necessarily think about it and like, hey, I'm being reactive. Maybe I'm just being anxious. There's something that I need to work on or be with. Just be with, not work on, because that can already put like this idea of, oh, I need to do something, I need to change something, something's wrong. It's more about really sitting with something that needs my love and attention and care within myself. And as you go through this process, as you allow yourself to shed off that other skin, you're finally moving forward from this place of anxiety. I'm repeating myself. You were able to recognize it as something that's not good for you, and you're able now, because you've shed off some skin, to create space for your mind to become aware of something more than you were aware before. So the mind is never the enemy. The mind is just sometimes a misguided or overused tool. And in order for it to work properly, we need to give it the rest that it needs. How we give it rest? Mindfulness, coming into the body, sitting in meditation, reflection, doing the journaling. You know, there are many tools out there of how to work with the mind, to allow the mind to rest. And it doesn't need to be painful. This is painful. The Nine of Swords is painful. Whether aware of it or not, you have that within yourself somewhere under layers. It's you know, it's there. But as you do this, as you are able to be present with it, as you allow this inner Father of Wands to come out through and to do so intentionally and with a lot of compassion for yourself here and for everyone involved, no matter how much they piss you off. I'm not saying it's everything your fault. We all are in the dramas that we are for a reason, because we have something to learn from it. And every party in this has something to learn. The giver and the taker and these roles can exchange a lot. So, you're moving away from this, baby. That's really, really good. Your mind is learning the lesson, and it's once again coming into service to you, to really learn how to support you in your own journey and not to hijack you or go into fear mode or blah, blah, blah. And also in service for the greater good, in service for what's greater good, that can be easily misinterpreted. In the service for love, in service for building up, you know, more love into the world rather than more fear, in building up trust, connection, joy and happiness, which was your mission in the first place, at least for you, those of you that resonate with this reading. So it's a great process. It's really, really good that you have the supportive energy to be able to sit with it, to be able to see it for yourself as well, because the Six of Wands does talk about recognition a lot. Okay, yeah, being recognized, but it's also can be turned and allow this transformative power of recognizing for myself, within myself, the things that go sometimes haywire, you know, like okay, I'm gonna pull up a oracle card to wrap this up, because I seem to find it difficult to stop talking. You who show the way. Well, hell yeah, baby. That's what you do. That's what you do. When you allow yourself to be this Father of Wands that doesn't need to question or play any role. It's number 33. Yet another 6. Service. Yeah, it's coming into service. Okay, let's see. 33. You who showed the way. So the poem from Rumi says, I'm going to bring it closer to you to see this beauty. I don't know if you see it. I don't know what you see from there. So the poem from Rumi says, the logical mind runs away from drowning. See, the logical mind runs away from, you know, this guy is dying. The logical mind runs away from drowning. Lovers accept drowning in the sea as their destiny. The logical mind finds consolation in reaching a level of comfort in life. Lovers are focused beyond their own comfort. That's very profound, and I think it's deeply connected to this. With the comfort, love, connection, fear, you know, coming from the logical mind of this drowning, when actual love that comes from the heart can give space for so much more. Okay, I'll read the interpretation. Even in your unquenchable passion for service to humanity, wow, right on spot, to the world that offers you so much, There is a time when your most powerful offering is actually and most simply that of your presence. You show the way, you who inspire through who you choose to live and be. This is the Father of Wands. That's exactly the character. So you show the way, you who inspire through how you choose to live and be. You who sometimes think of yourself to be invisible. You who consider yourself to be of no particular or exceptional worth. Yes, you. You who through your choice to live your truth, reveal my face, demonstrate my love, embody my presence, heal my beloveds and love my creations. That's not me, that's like talking from spirit. This oracle comes to you for a special message. You are an inspiration. You are helping those around you, and even, look at this, you are helping those around you and even many of whom you are unaware. You are doing this because this is your path, this is your way, this is your gift to live a life dedicated to the growth of consciousness, and through that dedication inspire others to receive the loving consciousness of the great beloved that can benefit them so greatly, no matter what their situations or circumstances. You're not doing this through any effort or will. You're doing this because this is your nature, your being, your way. Just as the sun breaks through the darkness with its own light, shining light with its presence by simply being, so does your inner sun, your soul. Leo is ruled by the sun. There's this eclipse here though, so, you know, allow that. Yeah, I'm gonna just continue. You don't have to understand this or do anything with the information given, although you may find it of comfort. Although you may find it of comfort or even be shocked by it, pleasantly perhaps. It is just an acknowledgement of who and what you are, given freely because you are ready to receive such an acknowledgement. The Spirit acknowledges you right now, the Six of Wands. You are also being gifted through this oracle a sign, a portent. This oracle is an omen, an issue too difficult for you to understand, no matter how hard you have been working on it. It's about to be resolved. You have no need to hold on to it, become more worthy of that resolution. It is going to happen according to the grace of the great beloved, and your job is to allow it to happen, to simply bear witness to the resolution, even if you have no idea what is going on in the process. You may find that whilst you are letting go, the resolution happens without you being aware of it until after the fact. Then apparently all of a sudden what was an issue is no longer so. You who help others are a worthy recipient of the help of the great beloved. Be prepared to surrender all plans and convictions about what can or cannot be, about what you think you know and what you think you need. Allow the benevolent grace of the beloved to take you through the great waves as the sea becomes calm and serene under the living divine light. This oracle brings this message that if you have a situation in your midst that feels impossible to resolve, the divine has it covered. Do the sacred honoring ritual and let it be sorted out by a power greater than your own. It shall be sorted out, and your sun shall rise. Just as day follows night again and again, so too shall your sun rise after an issue or struggle. You see? The sun here is rising as this person capitulates, as the ego finally surrenders expectations of how things should look like or how to resolve this. The sun is rising and the dawn is coming and the darkness being pushed away. So have faith and hope and know that this is a sensible approach to any dilemma, no matter how serious it may seem. For what use it is to bemoan the absence of day, even on the longest night when you know in every moment dawn is ever closer to breaking once again. Your hope then is not foolish, but wise. Alright, I'll read the sacred honoring ritual. If you feel called to do it, do so. If not, suit yourself. So place your hands on your heart and say, "The divine who loves me unconditionally, blesses me now with such grace that my life aligns with divine order, and all becomes golden, blessed, and mercifully held in the compassionate consciousness of the Creator. I thank you for the courage and faith I have needed to endure the night. And I now celebrate the coming dawn. I see it breaking. I see its light. And I thank you for this mercy. With Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, I am now shown the way to the dawn. It is at my feet, and together we step into the gift of a new day. So be it. If you have a specific issue you would like to address, hand it over to the Divine Beloved now by talking about it, just as if you were having a conversation with your oldest and dearest friend, for that is exactly what will be taking place. Then, when you have explained your feelings, your doubts or fears, let it go and know that the situation is held in the grace of the Great Beloved. You have completed your honoring ritual. Alright, beautiful Leo, this is quite a journey, but remember, you don't need to do anything else but to let go. And I know that's not easy. It's much easier to say than done, especially when the mind freaks out the way it does sometimes. And have faith in yourself, have faith in your expression of divinity, your inner self, your higher self, the Mother Earth, the universal consciousness, God, whatever it is that you can relate to in that sense, and have that deep conversation. Take full responsibility for all your feelings, but not in the sense like, oh, take responsibility, in the like, hey, be present with them, hold space for them, and allow yourself to feel. And then hand it over to that higher power that brings in serenity and that brings in a joy that's higher and bigger and deeper than everything you ever imagined from your ego mind. Alright, Leo, thank you so much for being here. I wish you all the best with this journey. If you resonated with this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment. It really helps me keep going and to stay motivated to do these readings when I see people really getting engaged and sharing also of their own experience. And yeah, thank you so much for that, and may our practice benefit all beings. I'll see you here next month. And have faith in yourself, have faith in your expression of divinity, your inner self, your higher self, the Mother Earth, the universal consciousness, God, whatever it is that you can relate to in that sense, and have that deep conversation. Take full responsibility for all your feelings, but not in the sense like, oh, take responsibility, in the like, hey, be present with them, hold space for them, and allow yourself to feel. And then hand it over to that higher power that brings in serenity and that brings in a joy that's higher and bigger and deeper than everything you ever imagined from your ego mind. Alright, Leo, thank you so much for being here. I wish you all the best with this journey. If you resonated with this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment. It really helps me keep going and to stay motivated to do these readings when I see people really getting engaged and sharing also of their own experience. And yeah, thank you so much for that, and may our practice benefit all beings. I'll see you here next month.